everyone, welcome to another Music Talk Tuesday. I apologize I had to delay this video. Unfortunately, I've been having some volume issues. For some reason, I'll get some sound and then other times it'll just fade away for whatever reason. I'm trying to see if today it'll cooperate with me. So hopefully it will, so I can upload all of the videos that need to be uploaded. So without further ado, for this particular Music Talk Tuesday, I thought it would be interesting to address the question of if the traditional record label is ending. And I think it's definitely safe to say that in this day and age, music is becoming a lot more independent, I think, than it used to be. I think the sort of value that record labels give to an artist or a band is diminishing. And I think this has to do with the significant amount of technology that we have nowadays, because now you can promote your work on social media, and you can also go to streaming services and ask if they would be willing to showcase your songs on their site. So you have those platforms really allowing artists to ultimately not have to go through that middleman, so to speak. And also, I think this allows for artists to have a lot more freedom, because in the past, oftentimes you'll see how the managers and the people who end up being in charge sort of managing various musicians over the years, they've had sort of an influence as far as how the band or artist was kind of presented, and they kind of tried to approach it from the perspective of looking at various demographics and seeing what appeals to the most people. And without that, the artist is given a lot more freedom to experiment and do what they think will ultimately work to their advantage, as opposed to having to rely on some third party to kind of tell you, hey, this is what you should do, and hey, this is the direction you should go in. And it really does allow the artist to really explore various different avenues, as opposed to having to resort to going the way the record label wants them to go to, at least. So I think that is definitely something that is what's causing a lot of artists to kind of ditch the record label, so to speak, and kind of just go independently. Now, I don't think the record label is completely done as a part of the music industry, because obviously they're not going to go quietly, and I think they kind of serve a role once an artist has reached a certain amount of popularity, to the point where you could argue, yeah, that's probably going to need some other outside influence. Like really the big names, like for example, Lady Gaga or Miley Cyrus, or, just someone that's, a lot of people, they just know the name from the amount of attention that artist has been given. It does make sense to kind of have this sort of whole contract and team set up for this particular person, because they are just that popular and have that much influence and money. But obviously for more up and coming people, and people who are fine with just making, a certain level of money, they don't really need to seek out the fame of a Lady Gaga or Katy Perry or anything like that. Those people I can see going in a more independent direction and not relying on a traditional record label to kind of guide them along. So I think ultimately I think this is a good thing because it's going to allow uh, a lot more experimentation, and it's makes it, I think, a little bit less corporate-y, um, uh, and again provides a lot more uh, ingenuity for the artists. But at the same time, I can kind of see as to why they would still have a certain level of relevancy only for those that are very established and popular and have their name and kind of want to make sure that they kind of stay in that direction. And and I can definitely see those people relying more so on other people to kind of um, you know basically guide them. But I think that's really all I can say about this topic. I think it's quite fascinating to see how really technology has allowed for uh, this kind of aspect of the music industry to kind of go away and not be as important as it used to be. And with the fact that you can make music a whole lot easier than at least it was in the past is also another factor, I think, into people kind of just doing more so things on their own as opposed to, again, relying on somebody else. Excuse me. But yeah, if there are any questions, comments, concerns, I'd be more than happy to answer them. I'd be more than happy to hear anybody's thoughts on this topic. But I think that's really all I can say, though. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a pleasant day, week, month, and year, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.